Alrighty guys, we are far from home today. We are on this property. It is acres and acres of land, and a house is going here, or a house slash barn. There's a ton of ledge right here, so a hammer is being brought in right now. Some guys were here before us. As you can see, there's a temp road here. This is where the driveway is going to be, and there's all this fill, and you can see a bunch of the rock was already scraped up. The machines are already here. So Dad's friend Nick asked if we could help out with this, so that's what we're here doing. And they have a screener coming in, so we're consolidating the fill. We're going to consolidate the materials. We're going to clean up the site. This was done by the excavator, not the hammer. It's just this rock that breaks up pretty easily. So the hammer's on its way here. We're going to be breaking that all up because it's, of course, this huge conglomerate of rock is right where the dwelling is going to be. It's a house slash barn kind of thing. So you can see that orange stake's a corner, that one's another corner, and then it goes like this. So of course it's right there, right in the way. And then out back there, way back there, is going to be the septic leach field. So what we're doing here is consolidating the materials. Like I said, they're bringing in a screener. Dad is like a kid in a candy store right now in the dozer. He loves the dozer. So he's pushing that all around. I'm gonna be helping him in the excavator. I think I'm gonna come over here probably on that side and start taking this and pushing it into that corner. Just this material here, this is very rocky, broken up, crap dirt, nothing good. Not like this fill here. This fill was brought in here. You can see it was dumped. So I'm gonna go chat with him, see how he wants to film this today. This was very impromptu, very random. We just got the call this morning, and one of our other jobs got delayed because there was a miscommunication with the other contractors that are working at the property. So they have the space. So it actually worked out perfectly. We showed up there, and just a big miscommunication with the other contractors and the property owner, and they were all there. So we couldn't do what we had to do. And then we get a call this morning asking if we can come help with this. Worked out perfect. That's a cemetery right there. It's like, I don't know, Civil War era, maybe more. You can see the tombstones in there. We are not allowed to go anywhere past that rock wall, I guess. Well, I don't guess. That's what I was told. Do not go past that rock wall. So I cleaned up some of the fill around where the house is going. We're waiting on the hammer. There's an excavator with a hammer to break all of that. We're in the quarry area. There's a quarry not too far from here where I get all the bluestone and stuff. So we're in rock territory. But I put Bryson in the dozer for the first time ever, and I told him, I'll bulk it. What I want you to do is practice trying to grade, because anybody can push dirt, but I want you to practice carrying a grade. So that's what he's doing. And and I'm just gonna pull this back and stack it up. So as long as we stay tucked in tight, we'll be good. This whole area over here is open area next to the new driveway, so I'll stack all this fill here. Then when the screener comes, we can set the screener up on this side, screen it all, and then the belt will shoot the good stuff that way closer to the hole so we could backfill. Because you don't want to backfill with all this rock. They're probably got some sort of drainage stone or whatever, but this is not what I would call suitable. If you go to backfill with rock around concrete foundation, stone is different than backfilling with actual large rock. I've seen guys blow foundations apart, and we don't want to do that. So I'm not sure who that guy is. That might be the property owner, or just somebody nosy. I'm not sure. I don't know the property owner, haven't met him. Nick says he's a great guy. Very laid back, so we like that. See, this is like a sandy, it's like a sandy material, but it's loaded with rock. See that boulder there? Let me see if you can see it. See this boulder right here? If you were to slam that against the foundation wall, I mean, this is a Komatsu 360 excavator, so that boulder looks kind of small from in the cab here, but if you were to throw that up against concrete when you're backfilling, you could crack the wall. So we'll stick that guy over there, give him a little pat down so we don't run him over again, but I like to make my runways nice and flat so I can track back and forth. And then we'll cone up the top so the water sheds. But I'm hugging this side so we don't end up spilling over by the wall, because we got plenty of room on this side. And then Nick is over there hammering with that hammer. He says it's coming, that all that rock is coming up in little pieces. I told him I'll probably come over in a bit and, you know, scrape with this bucket and get the loose stuff out. And then Bryson's doing an excellent job with that dozer. They're not, like, if you're a fast learner, they're not that hard. And these young kids pick up on that stuff quick because of video games, I think. The older dozers were way harder with the transmission and the levers. I like the older ones just because, you know, that's what I grew up in. It makes me feel like I'm a kid again. Alright, so he moved on to try and break up some big boulder that they wanted to break up while I'm trying to scrape up what he did, but I can't remember. I think I told you guys there's a quarry down the street, not too far from here. It's a bluestone quarry. It's the same place I got all the stone dust from to do my garage floor. But look at all of this. I don't know how well that camera's showing it, but I gotta figure out where we're gonna put it. But he was working on that side, so I at least want to scrape it. If I can peel off what he was working on so he can keep going. What just fell off the top? Oh, I think it was a stick. Must have been on top of the excavator. like a tree branch stick. Alright, I gotta figure out where to put this. Where is the best place to put this? Because that stake is the house corner. His guy, he has this old guy that works for him. He's 80 years old. He runs the dozer sometimes. So he pushed the driveway to the house corner. So in order to do the overdig, we gotta take that back. So this stuff wouldn't be good there. Wouldn't be good next to the fill pile. I don't know if I want to put rock behind the house here. I don't know. That's a lot of rock. I mean, this entire house. Too bad that they bought all of that, you know, all of that T-base and dense grade for the road. Geez, that's too bad. I kind of wish, well, this is my first day here, but I mean, I don't know. I got a job coming up in an area, and if it's like this, maybe I'll dig the house lot first and use this to build the road. I mean, it's very fine enough. And I'll hit it with the compactor. Maybe I'll put some soil stabilization cloth over the top, then top it with some stuff. I don't know. I mean, because look at this. I mean, what do you do with this? It's only good for road base. And the road's already done. I don't think that they knew that this was here. That's the problem. They started digging, and they were pulling up all of this sandy, decent-looking fill that you see over there. I don't know. I'll have to ask him what he wants to do with this. Probably just, I mean, depending on how big this cellar hole is, probably truck this back to the yard. What he should do is should contact the quarry and see if he can load this on trucks and dump it, get paid by the ton, dump it right in their hopper. Because without a crusher, I mean, what are you going to do with it? That he rented from the rental company, it's got one of those Gorilla hammers on it. We've rented one before on a Sany excavator. You guys have seen that on the channel before. I personally do not like those Gorilla hammers. Either that or we just need a bigger one. This is all overburden filled, so see this here? It's all overburden filled. Make sure I'm not spinning. I don't know why this mirror is not adjusted. I like my mirrors. A lot of guys don't like the mirrors. So when the low bed drops off the piece of equipment, the guys will not fold the mirrors in because they like to use the backup cameras. I personally like the mirrors better. Just old school, I guess. I mean, I'll use the backup cameras, but I do like to be able to look over here and see whether someone's walking up next to me or something. See, I just want to get the fill off the top. gotta go less deep. Right about there. Robbins here. We're gonna have all these different flavors. We're gonna have sandy, sandy rocky, sandy rocky dark, sandy rocky light. Maybe we'll make some progress here. See, that's got like some topsoil, but I mean, we're gonna have to just cut it. Over there, he's working on that boulder. He said that hammer, even with the crack, he's like, I could see the seam in the boulder. He says it's still not doing it. And that's a 245 link belt. So whatever size hammer they put on a 245, that ain't doing it. It ain't cutting it or cracking it. Alright, it's like, I don't know, getting close to 3 o'clock maybe. Let me see here. Yeah, it's like 4. So, I've been taking all of this and mixing it with this fill, and then he's pushing it up because we decided, see if I can block out the sun. We basically decided that we have to screen the entire pile to get the rocks out anyways, and to make a whole nother separate pile of rock, and it's getting mixed with dirt and the fines, to make a whole nother pile and take up more room would just be a pain in the rear. So we're just gonna mix it all into one big pile of fill. We're getting the screener here. The screener has multiple decks, vibrating shaker decks with different screens with different belts. So this is no big deal. We can actually make rip-rap size stone out of it. We can make small stone, and the fines in the fill will go as fill. Or depending, we could take one screen out and then we can make the fill 1.5 inches minus fill, so it has some drainage to it. I don't know what we're gonna do right now, but that's why we're able to not care so much about the rock in with the fill. So what I'm doing is I'm basically digging up what he's ripping up. It seems like there's just a big, like this is just a big ginormous boulder. Because over there is that wall. That wall is all like good fill, and then I got over there, dug down over there, way over there was like some sandy good fill, and then over in this corner it seems like it stopped. So it seems like they picked the worst possible spot to build a house. It's almost 6 o'clock. We've been moving dirt for a while. I'm trying to clean up this corner. A little bit before we go. Try to get him some more material to put on top of this rock.
There's a whole bunch of deer down there. They're staring at us. Must be supper time. It's starting to look like a box though. There's 2, maybe 3 big deer down there. Bits at a time. Alright, so what he's doing is the benchmark is on that tree way over there. The laser's set up there. He's transferring. He's getting a spot. You want the paint?
No, I'm just seeing how. I'm just seeing.
Okay.
I want to move that laser though because I have a good benchmark. I'm just getting an idea right now.
I'm gonna throw you the can of paint. Just put a dot where you want it. Makes me feel fuzzy. So I moved some stuff around. We bumped a job off that we were supposed to do. My buddy asked me, he's real jammed up, so he asked me if we could come back today and figure this out. We got a different utility truck today and I kind of goofed. I was so worried about getting batteries for the laser, and I glanced in there and I saw the legs for the laser head. The laser was in there, everything. But I was running around trying to get batteries and a grease gun. Because the grease gun we have, we converted the canisters, the cartridges, whatever you want to call them, to the hammer grease that the rental company for the hammer gave us. And you can't use one or on the other. It's hammer grease. So I had to get another grease gun, and you know, between fueling the machine and that and whatever, I overlooked the fact that the rod, we didn't realize it. I just saw that there was a rod in the box. And then Bryson pulled it out, and Bryson's like, what the hell are these guys doing? Patios with this? And I'm like, why? And he goes, well, it's only 8 feet tall. We need to go down 12 feet. So what he's going to do is he's going to transfer down to there, make a mark, and then reshoot it, and we're going to set the legs up over there. Now you might be thinking, why would you set your legs up over there if you're digging? Well, today we have a set of plans. We didn't have plans yesterday. And someone was already here when I got here. They were here the day before digging. Today we have a set of plans, and me and Bryson looked over the plans and realized they didn't need to do that. They were digging over here for no reason. But there might have been some confusion because the first set of plans showed the living quarters and the full basement on this side. So I think maybe that's what threw them off. Maybe they had an old set of plans, because that happens a lot. And then the new set of plans that we have shows the living quarters on this side facing the deer field. That's what we're calling it, the deer field, because there was a bunch of deer there last night and this morning. So this side is all garage, 4-foot dig work. It's basically a barn dominium. Don't throw the orange can at you with the black shirt.
No, not with all the jagged rock. The thing will land and explode with my luck.
All right.
So that's 39.15.
So what I did this morning while he was trying to figure out elevations of it is I kind of went back over with the tape measures and realized, started laying it out. Don't throw that at me. The layout. So this is building corner. So I'm wondering if maybe Billy pushed all this in before the surveying crew got here. I'm doubting it though, because there's a windrow. Whenever you have a windrow near a stake, that usually indicates that the dozer went around the stake. So I think he just blew in this. He's 80 years old. You know, we'll cut him some slack on that. He's a good guy too. Plus, when you're 80, do you really give a shit? So he blew that in there. That's you know, a fill stake. That's not line. That's the other building corner.
Benchmark's 112. This is 697. So that's 5.
He's doing his math. But then over here, I realized that the other corner, building corner stake is blown out over here. And I put that line because this is 60 feet this way, and in line with that stake, if I get a hammer and find another stake, I got to try and put this corner back in line with that building corner over there, and this would be the corner of the garage. Like, this is all 4 foot, you know, in the ground flat work. So we're not going to be digging 4 feet in the ground because there's 7,000 yards of dirt being brought in here to bring up this whole level. I also found out over there what they were doing. They ran into a bunch of giant boulders, so they were burying the boulders because they were too big to do anything with. So that's where all this fill dirt got generated, and it's all going to get screened. So we're starting to kind of clean up a bit and kind of get a grasp of what's going on. Yesterday we kind of last minute showed up and just started hammering rock and moving dirt out of the way. So now that everything's cleared out of the way, Bryson and I are gonna start like fine tuning in this basement hole. All right, this is the plan. He went to get the hammer. I put a string out here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I put a string line across there because that's the step up, you know, because that's the over dig. So the actual wall's like over here. So with the over dig, it's gonna step up here, but they gotta get down in there to do the footings. So I think I know what happened. I think they had the wrong set of plans at first. So he's gonna get the hammer. He's gotta hammer out all of this, and then we gotta dig this past this line in that stake. So we got to go over that way and then over this way. So I'm gonna take the dozer today, and while he's hammering, he wants to use the hammer. Nick's not here today, so it's just me and Bryson, and I'm gonna get this pile pushed back farther. That way I can cut out this corner, you know, over, and it's gonna be 12 foot deep, so I'm probably gonna do like a 5 foot over dig. That way these guys don't have like a big wall of dirt, you know, too close to them. Alright, so we just stopped and greased the hammer. He's still hammering, little bits at a time. What I'm doing here is I'm gonna make a ramp for him because he's gonna have to go down in there. He's gonna have to hammer out that center. Normally when I dig a foundation hole, I sit right where I'm, you know, digging, and I'll dig back towards me. But this time, because of all the rock, we had to like strip all the, what you would call overburden if you were in a mine. But we got to strip all the topsoil and all the fill dirt off of the rock, expose the rock, and then go in and hammer out the rock, which means you got to go back in there to do it, if that makes any sense. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to stack up some of this fill out of this corner, because now that I mapped it out, I gotta go over there, peel back that T-base dense grade material that the dozer operator pushed, peel that line back, try to save that, and then come over and dig out this corner. But I want to get this fill pile, the tail end of this, out of the way first. And the dozer was, you know, the dozer will do it, but you're just gonna kill the dozer like running on this rock. And the rock is starting to get a little bit bigger. It's starting to break up in bigger pieces, so I don't feel like killing the dozer, and this 360 will move it way faster. Also, I had to keep switching machines anyways, because every time he does a little bit, I gotta scrape it out with this. So it's better if I just do this. Just stay in this machine. You know? All of this is gonna get run through a crusher. And then from the crusher it's gonna get dumped into the screener. And then they'll figure out what to do with the stone. But I think we gotta crush the stone down to small size, because I was just talking to Nick, and the estimator had a 3D model of this job site, and he calculated exactly how much fill needed to be imported, and it's like 7,000 yards to bring it up to grade, and they calculated for digging this foundation hole, generating fill from here. Now that it has turned out that it is all rock, you know, that significantly changes the yardage that needs to be imported, or we crush the rock down in the stone size that's manageable into the fill dirt and keep the 7,000 import number, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me now. Today he called me kind of last minute yesterday, and we just showed up here and started breaking rock. But since yesterday and today, and since I got the plans this morning, I've got a better grasp on like what's going on here. So yeah, when I was a teenager, like 19, 20 years old, we did a FedEx distribution center, company I used to work for, and we did this exact similar soil right through the crusher, right down to fine size, and then used it as gravel around the parking lot and building. So, however, I do think that this material is more of a sedimentary material. So this material here is like breaking up smaller. So this would be good to crush down into like almost sand, if you could get the crusher small enough. You know, that other job that we did, ooh, we got a roller. That other job that we did many years ago, that was all like granite rock. So it actually crushed down into rock. Certain soils, when you stones, when you crush them, they do not produce a lot of dust or stone sand. This stuff definitely will, but we'll see. We just got to clean up this corner and make room for him to get down in there. And then when he gets down in there doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where he just was, or where he's sitting, and scrape out the stuff that he just broke up. And that's the process, just leapfrogging. Alright, so what I'm doing is, he's down in there hammering more. I just scraped out a bunch. I'm peeling back this road so we can get the front wall. Because this is good recycled T-base. It's a lot of money, so I want to save it instead of just pulling through with the front wall. I'm going to give us quite a bit of room here. Just peel it back. After I get this out of the way, I got to put his string line back so he knows where the center of the building is. Well, not the center of the building, but the oh, what do you call it? The the step-up wall. This stuff is actually not cheap when you add up the tonnage that was brought here. I think he said all in total for the whole site, this T-base here, is like $50,000 worth to build the driveway, so I want to save as much as we can.
All right, there we go.
So today is day 3. I didn't turn the camera on all day because the property owner was here, the builder was here, some other people, so I didn't bother. But it's the end of the day. I'll show you the progress.
Not much progress. I pulled offsets, did my offsets the way that I like them. Guys always give me a hard time about that. You can do whatever you want on your job, but you're not here. I have to say that because people literally give me a hard time about that. This is the best. So I got down to there, and now that they want to go like 2.5 feet below and maybe 3 feet, we're not sure yet, depending, because there's an elevator shaft tunnel that has to go down. So wherever that is, I might have to go lower for the elevator shaft. But we did break all this up, but I left it loose because we needed to get the excavator with the hammer to ramp down in and break along that wall as I scooped out that wall and through the dirt over here. I'm kind of running out of room over here for fill, so now we're gonna start stacking it over there and push it down over there. And then I gotta dig out that wall, and then we gotta dig out all of the 4-foot work, which I don't even know if it's going to be 4-foot work. That's just what I call it. Everything has set elevations, and I'll show you real quick. I peeled this back and I gotta dig to here. That's my over dig, that orange line. I wish I had some white paint, but all I have is orange. It's like 5 o'clock. He's just gonna clean that up, push that up. I'm gonna go park this hammer. I gotta grease it again every 2 hours. I'll probably grease it before we leave though. That way we don't have to do it first thing in the morning, because no one wants to get covered with grease first thing in the morning. So I'll probably go down to where we park the machines, grease everything, and pack it up. Until Monday. Alright, it's the next week. I've been here a couple days without the camera. Reason being is because I forgot it. So I'm trying to figure this out. I told Bryson to give me a minute. He's taking his lunch break, but we've been chipping rock for quite a while now. It's just coming off in little bits and pieces. I had a guy on TikTok say, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing." And it's like, yeah, okay, bud, whatever. I'm so sick of people talking crap.
that don't know anything. I think they're troll accounts. And then there was some talk about whether we should blow it up, have someone drill it and blow it, but that's not my call. And guy in charge did not want to do that for whatever his reasons is. He decided to hammer it. Also, I just took some time to knock down that pile of fill that was here because it was in what I'm pretty sure is the building corner. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to lay out the building corner because there was no stake here or anything. So I'm just going to go off of the other points that I have. I also peeled back that T-base because the septic tank pipe has to go right through there, right along that edge. I might even have to peel it back some more because the field down there, I went down there and I dug big holes down there just to make sure that the soil log was, accurate and there was like no boulders in the field. Because, they could have just, it's a long leach field, so my thought is they could have did a couple holes at either end, not ran into any big rock, and then all of a sudden, we return the hammer, and then, in the middle of the field, I get a big rock. So I dug down a bunch of different holes, and there was no rock. So, man, is it getting hot out. Yeah, and then we had to keep the ramp so we can go in there, and then I gotta go get the rest of that out of there so he can keep going back more.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
What do you mean? You think that's good enough?
That's all loose, yeah.
All right.
It's so low now. We're low enough to where they're gonna build up to with the stone. I just gotta punch down for the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator pit's there. Just loosen it all up where the elevator shaft's going.
I can't tell I get out of here. It's where the ramp is.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to come in there with that, and then I'm gonna have to scrape out the rest of that. Yeah. What do you have to say to the guy on TikTok that said you don't know what you're doing?
I don't.
Social media, I was toying with the idea of not doing it anymore. I'm just sick of having to answer to people that, I had a guy, he's probably gonna watch this and run his mouth too, but I had a guy on one of the truck videos, that was saying stuff like, oh, do you ever finish anything or whatever. I got one project truck, and I went back through the channel because I can do that with the creators app and see all the comments that he's ever left on the channel ever. Never leaves me anything good. And I'm kind of sick of it because people see like a little glimpse into my life, and then all of a sudden they think like they know me or they know what I do. They have no idea. We're trying to clean out this corner back to that stake that's up on the bank. I'm rocking pretty bad though. This is all uneven. Maybe I can pull some of this into the track like so. Is this thing getting high? Yeah. I gotta get right there. Right there. It's getting late in the day, I can tell he's had enough. Sitting on the stinking hammer all day, all week. Alright, it's early, it's a new day. Apparently my buddy called the builder last night because the plans that we have showed that this is a slab on grade. And I was thinking to myself like, geez, that doesn't make sense because in our area, the code for something like this, they're putting a steel building on it too. You gotta have a frost wall, at least 4 foot frost wall. So when I called him, he said, yeah, no, there's definitely a frost wall. And I'm like, well, it doesn't show it on the plan, so I don't have any schematics or whatever you want to call it, details on this frost wall. So you got to be 4 feet in the ground. So he said, let me call the builder. Calls us back, and I was on my way home, and he said, yeah, no, he goes, this is kind of messed up. He goes, you're gonna love this. And I'm like, what? And he goes, that foundation plan is not the right foundation plan. I go, what do you mean? He said, the foundation plan is not done yet for the building. So in order to push paperwork through, they went online and they got a Bryson's laughing over there. They went online and they just got like a generic barn dominium foundation plan. But it's like not up to our local code. So I'm like, okay, so now what? And he goes, the builder says, oh, just go 4 feet down from the top. I'm like, okay, well, what's your reveal of foundation? Because you can't go 4 feet down from the top because you have to be code. You have to be 4 feet coverage in the ground.
Now I got this set for 5 feet.
So he said, just make up what you want. So we're going to do 5 feet down from top. There's no plan, so it's just got to be ballpark. Okay.
Well, this is exact. 5.5 feet below, so 5 feet and then 6 inches for a base. So that's
Stone base?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is exactly there. It's only.
We don't even know if it's going to have a stone base.
There's no actual plan. They just got like generic like.
I know. But what I'm saying is like a lot of time on the plans it'll say whether there's stone or if it's just on virgin compacted dirt. This we have no idea. So we don't. It's kind of one of these things where when this happens, I kind of start to give less F's.
Hey, real quick, you want me to
If that
go
makes
get
any
the
sense.
hammer?
What?
This is set. You want me to go get the hammer and just break those rocks?
Yeah, but I gotta call and find out which rocks.
It's not all of them.
I don't know. I don't know if you're allowed to go in that field that they just mowed. I gotta find out.
No, that machine's gonna tear up that grass.
I know. I don't. It's like the details here are kind of like
Yeah,
there is none. So this is what my poor buddy that hired me to do the job. Kind of feel bad for him because he's like the middleman, and he has to like keep going. I don't know. Let me find out. And then he's got to make phone calls. And then he gets back and he's, I start hounding him for info, and he's like, I don't know, nobody's answered me back. So it's like, I don't know. People want to do these projects, but I don't know. I don't care for the builder too much, to be perfectly honest with you. He said some stuff to my kid the other day that he was 100% wrong. He was like super arrogant. I don't know why people are like that. Well, I do know why. The world sucks now, but whatever. Let's go dig some dirt. If it wasn't for all the rock, we could have dug this entire job in a day with this machine. Down a little more there. This is so shallow, we probably could have just did this with the dozer. Just pushed it out and graded it with the dozer. Or like a skid steer, but... Actually, this is faster than a skid steer. Just because this machine bucket is not that much smaller. Like width-wise, this thing ain't really that much smaller. The camera doesn't do it justice, but it's pretty wide. Bryson's out in the field breaking rock. The property owner wanted to break a bunch of boulders that were laying in the grass everywhere. Me personally, if they were on the edge of the field, I would have left them. I like the way they look, but it's not my property, so. I like the old farm walls, you know, like the stacked rock along the property line. But my wife doesn't like the way that they look, so I understand why people, you know, there's some people that don't like them. She says they look unfinished because they're not mortared together. I spun around and I snapped off the tops of the stakes so I could drive over them just like that. Because over here, normally, like when I do an addition dig or a house lot dig, I will push the stakes down in the ground with the bucket. There's so much rock and hard dirt here that they don't, I'll try it, and if they don't, I just snap the tops off so I can drive over it. I'm gonna pile all this dirt here, and then I'm gonna take the dozer and then I'm just gonna flatten it out here because this all has to get brought up anyways, this whole side. All right, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I put the dozer in where the footing hole is, and I'm gonna try to use the percentage. So that calculates where your percentage of your tractor's lean is, and that's your blade. So the blade's 45%, you know, pitched up, and then our tractor has got a 1%. We're fluctuating between 1 and 2. If I shake the blade, see, it went to, we got 3. That's just from shaking it. That's how, you know, just from going like that, that's how touchy it is. So 1%, I mean, let's see if we can do this. I gotta back up some. Normally I wouldn't say do this, but this is all rock. And then we're a little wider than the hole. I want the outside cut to stay nice. Put this down, it's at 9%, but we might be leaning. This is where I left off. We can get, we're at 4%. Oh, we got a rock there. 2% on the blade. %1 on the blade. Tractor's starting to come down a hair. I can feel it. 0%, 1% back up with the blade. 3% gotta go back down. Not trying to take out a lot. I think I was pretty close. This is, you know, I got it in, you know, drive. Oh, yeah. I should have been paying attention. Now I'm at 5%. But we gotta go up anyways. We're past the end of the hole. See those stakes down there? Right here is past the end, so I'll just push this out. Try not to spin the tracks. Just for shits and giggles, let's go see where we're at. So that's grade. That's pretty good. I think we can work with that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna aim this way to those stakes. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna push that out and then just keep checking it with the laser. We just got a tone on that laser, and then, because these are arbitrary numbers, meaning like they just kind of made this up, and we went a little bit deeper so we can bring it up with the stone and then grade the stone to perfect final. So this is just so much faster, more peaceful. So I like dozers. I don't get to run them a lot where we live. I used to, but where we live back home, it's kind of all developed up, so I don't get a lot of seat time anymore, so I'd rather play with this. Pretty good for rough grade with a dozer. I mean, come on, how do you get any better than that eyeballing it using a dozer with no GPS or anything? Come on. We only got to go to there, and then I'm gonna have to take the excavator to do that because that's all rock, and it's pretty far to the edge. But I mean, come on. It's pretty good. I still got it. It's been a few years, but still got it.